Hello everybody, Andy here from Glass Half Dead, and let's talk about the buffs and the nerfs that we're going to need. Although I will say straight up, this is focusing way more on the buffs because I think they're more interesting. The nerfs, I think they're pretty obvious about what they should be and who they're going to be on. I'll mention them at the end, and then maybe a little surprise twist. Now first things first, this is not a stats show. I'm not telling you like... This is more a gut show. This is my gut feeling about things. Also, hidden among this list, I'm generally trying to guess what Games Workshop will actually do. Look, it's great fun to wish list a bunch of stuff, but I find it more interesting to look at the reality of changes. So, as a general rule, Games Workshop likes to make the smallest change to have the desired impact. In general, this means plus or minus an operative for a buff or nerf, respectively. It's simple, clear, and a single line in a data slate. Also, because quite frankly, what's the point in wish listing and writing my own erotic fanfic that will never happen? Waste of time. So, again, not a stats show, however, the stats are good at guiding. Teams below the 45% win rate are Commandos, Kroot, Kasrkin, Wormblade, Phobos, and Hierotek. Teams above the 55% win rate are Starstriders, Breachers, Galliplox, Void Dancers, Blooded, and Legionary. That's the first time I've actually... I obviously wrote these down. That's the first time I've read those out. That is a lot of teams. Wait, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We have 11 teams outside of the desired win rate? Oh man, okay. Clearly the next video is going to be... Kill teams unbalanced, WTF. Anyway, that's mental. Alright, clearly alright, let's keep going with the script. Those outside of the 40 to 60% and therefore in dire need of a redo, however, are Starstriders on the high end and Phobos and Hierotek on the low end. But again, this is not a stats show, this is the court of public opinion, and so the nerfs and buffs applied are a bit more flexible than what the raw BCP stats are. What I mean by this is that I keep my finger in a lot of pies, my ear to the ground, my legs in the air. I pay a lot of attention to what people in general are saying, and people in general are saying things that don't necessarily or aren't necessarily backed up by the stats. So that's what I mean. I'm talking about the gut instinct. And therefore, I believe that for what people generally want, the actual requirements are to buff Hierotek, Phobos, and Kasrkin. And then we want to nerf Breachers and Starstriders. Now, some of those do make sense and are in line with the stats. But you know what? I'm going to throw this... I'll say it at the end. Okay. How do we fix Kasrkin? Obviously, just 3 up ballistic skill, move on, right? Job done. No doubt about that. Do I need to say any more? Yes, I do. They're never getting 3 up. Oh, yeah. So I do think, however, they should have +1 wound. And I think that elite points should be able to be used on defense rolls. I think that's a nice, easy change and make them a little bit more durable, give them just that little edge that they probably need. Long range scope to 1 EP. New ploy. I'm going to throw out there that in some way allows them to get like a mini blast on their hotshot lasguns. So like for a CP, they get an additional shot against another model if it's within circle of the original. So like I say, mini blast. Almost like Fusillade, but good, right? That's just to help them deal with hordes. Kasrkin have some really effective tools with all of their possible rerolls and buffs and pushes to crit, etc. against elites that can make them quite effective there, which is great because obviously there's a lot of legionary and intercession. But against hordes, you don't have much to do. But that's it. I think that's all they need. Now we go to the Phobos. So, again, real court of public opinion here. I personally don't think Phobos necessarily need anything. They're probably okay. However, when we see what people are talking about in various Discords, Facebooks, Reddits, etc., people think they need something. And also talking to the top players who also think they need something. Now look, I'd love to say just give them all a free smoke grenade and call it a day, right? Easy peasy, lemon stew. But looking at how they play into other teams, they need more damage output, okay? You can kill Intercession, you can even table them, but if you do that, you are giving up the ability to score points. And if you're not killing them, then they are scoring. But how do you buff their damage? There's a lot going on here, right? You've got 3 different ranged weapons, 3 different melee weapons, mines, marksmen. So what do you do? What else do they need? Do we buff a single weapon, or give a new ploy, or a new ability, or a new equipment? Buff one guy with blessed bolts, or buff the whole team, right? I've talked for long enough anyway. Here's my hot take. Remove that new ploy. It's silly, obviously. Just make every bolter AP1 and the marksman rifle AP2. Simple. Boom. There you go. No other changes. Thank you. Then we get to the Hierotek Circle. Oh boy. I don't even know where to start with them. What a failure of a team. That's after they were buffed, right? Now this is a tough one to talk about because they just need everything buffed. So how can we guess the realistic buff? The only core of this team, thematically, is that they are slow and they reanimate. Nothing else about Necrons is a defined trait backed up by mechanics or lore, so they can be and do anything. Like, legit, the entire team probably should be APL3 and that would fix them. However, thematically they can't, because APL3 is used to represent and show movement and speed. So they should be APL 2.5 like Corsairs get the free dash, while Hierotek Circle should get a free shoot after performing a shoot action. I think that's actually what you need. They need APL 2.5. Instead of the free dash, they get a free shoot after a shoot. Done. Also, now, so that's kind of like, I think that's how they should be fixed. I also am positive they aren't going to get that. However, I'm now just going to rapid fire a bunch of other things they might do, and that the team does need. Let's see what I come up with, right? Cryptek actions should not be restricted and should be free to perform. Comms and medics should be given auras for their ability to work within instead of a targeted ability, right? So, everyone that starts their turn within 3 inches of the comms gets +1 APL. It's still restricted to Immortals and Death Marks. That's fine, so you can't buff it, the Cryptex, etc. But yeah, I think that's how it should work. And likewise, anyone that dies within 3 inches of the medic, Plasma Sight, gets just free reanimation. Yeah. There you go. Boom. Harsh. I know. Relentless Onslaught. No, sorry. Cortical Subjugation and Leech Power should also be 0 CP. You should just get those for free. The Apprentech needs to be hitting on 3s, 100%, and needs to have his weapon buffed. Relentless Onslaught. Okay, guys. Relentless Onslaught. What rule should the ploy Relentless Onslaught give you? Is it relentless or is it balanced? Which one do you think the ploy Relentless Onslaught should give you? Need I say more? Need I say more? Now, obviously, no idea what they get, but everything I just said should be done. There you go. Although, I wasn't just throwing things out there. I think that all of those would be a good buff that they should get. Do I think they should all be done? No. That would be crazy. This would be a crazy team if they were all done. But some of those things could be done in tandem and you get a pretty solid team. And that's it. Then we come to the nerfs. Breachers need their damage reduction removed. We all know how strong damage reduction is. No more need to be said. Starstriders need all of their changes reverted apart from the Electromancer's buffs. That's it. Nerfs were simple. That's why I was, as you can tell, I was, you know me guys. I am an anti-meta chaser. I don't really care that much about Breachers and Starstriders because they're the top team. I have no interest in playing them. I like to play my crappy teams. I play all of the teams I've just talked about that need buffs, So I'm much more focused on them getting better than the top teams getting worse, right? So That's just my vibe, yo. Finally, of course, if you made it this far, you know who no one is talking about needing buffs? Again, not a stat show, but Wormblade. They are the actual third worst performing faction instead of Kasrkin, the one that everyone is talking about, but is actually the fourth worst performing faction. Isn't that crazy? Nobody cares that Wormblade are performing really, really bad. Badly. Bad. Yeah. Anyway, there you go. This has been Andy's top buffs and nerfs, part 7. I hope you've enjoyed, and let me know your thoughts. Also, I mean, clearly the stat show has to be imminent. I wanted to do a stat show, and I was shocked as I read this out loud that 11 of the 19 teams are outside of the targeted win rate. What the hell? That's actually crazy. Anyway, that's clearly what the point of my stat show is going to be about. Alright guys, have a good one. Stay gangster. Bye.